Now we get to the whole thing that a lot of people don't really. I had to really read up on this. Nintendo comments on the controversial switch to game key cards. So, from what I understand, is that when you buy the Nintendo Switch 2 games, it's literally just a cart that just allows you to download the game onto your Switch. So it's not a physical game. And a lot of people are worried about that, which I mean they should be, because you don't really own the game. You got the cart that allows you to download the game to the Switch 2. So I mean I can understand that. It says Nintendo's own Doug Bowser has discussed the Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards and has stated that physical games are still a part of the key company's business. However, the Nintendo CEO also provided the same insight as to why game key cards are being utilized for the Switch 2. While many gamers are extremely excited to try out the Nintendo Switch 2, there have been some concerns regarding the new system as well. One of the biggest among these is the existence of game key cards, which makes up the significant percentages of the Nintendo Switch 2 launch titles. Unlike the standard game cards, game key cards only obtain a license to download the game. With the opening of the San Francisco Nintendo store, Nintendo CEO Doug Bowser discussed the game key cards with IGN and how they play a role in Nintendo's business. Bowser reassured that for the immediate future, physical games are still considered an important part of Nintendo's business and that the company wants to ensure that it has products available to retailers. However, it seems like the game key cards were at least in part of utilized to help make the Nintendo Switch more attractive to third-party game publishers. Now they're saying that basically they're using these cards so that they can put more powerful games on it. That's what he cited here, that they can put more graphically powerful games on it. I mean, there's pluses and there's minuses to it, because if you're buying a game that's $80 and you think that you have the physical game and it's just a license on a cartridge, then you don't really own it. You're basically paying to rent the game. That's what it sounds like to me. So I can understand the concerns of the gamers. I wouldn't like that either. However, if it is what he says here, so that they can be able to put more powerful games, because make no mistake about it, they are putting more powerful games that the original Switch could not play. I saw that when I saw Street Fighter 6 that they're gonna launch with this console. So yeah, we're getting some more powerful games. So I can see both sides, but to me, like I lean more towards the tide of, come on. When I plop down $80, $90 for a game, I want to own that game physically. Period. Like I want to be able to put it there, pop that in there anytime I want to play it. I'm not really a fan of a license on a cartridge. That's bullshit. Not a fan of that. So, and the rest there, he says, despite a game key card being sold, being a solid in a physical Nintendo Switch case, the item itself is simply a card that's inserted into the console, downloading the game onto the device. This means that that no actual data is on the card itself. Yeah. No, like I said, I stated how I feel about that, folks. I'm not really a fan of that. But we're just, that's the way that things are going. Things are going all digital. That's my thought process on this thing. They're slowly phasing out physical gaming media, and even movies and stuff like that. This stuff is going to be streaming stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if the PS6 would just be all digital. I would not be surprised if that's the case. We already know that the next Xbox console, if they come out with an Xbox console, that that's probably going to be all digital. It's going to be a whole streaming thing. So it is what it is, folks. There's nothing we can do about it.